Welcome back. We're sorry, it's a live program. It happens this way sometimes. Now, today on the Hangout, Acting President Yomi Osinbajo urges Onogen to restore confidence in the judiciary, Senate direct customs to halt planned clampdown over vehicle duty. And later in the program, Andrew Yakubu demands 1 billion naira apology over his arrest. Babajide Kolade Otitoju, Simon Ateba, and Yomi Olomofe are set for today's Hangout. So if you're ready, let the Hangout start now. The judicial system is a major tool that got the country deep in the mess called corruption. Corruption has permeated deep in the institutions of government, not leaving out the judicial system itself. A country where the highest bidder is considered before fairness, justice, and truth. Yesterday, Justice Walter Onogen was sworn in as the Chief Justice of Nigeria, CJN, by the acting President, Yomi Osinbajo. Onogen is sworn in as the judicial boss when the system is as good as rotten. He's assuming the position at a crucial time. The acting president urged Onogen to try his best in reviving the judicial institution. Can Onogen be trusted to do this job? Let me start from Yomi Olomofe. Now, the vice president actually said something. He said Justice Onogen was that occasion was conducted when Nigerians, they lost confidence in the three arms of government, in short. And that to me was, is very witty.
It is. Ayo, well, let me start this evening's Hangout by congratulating my Lord, the Chief Justice of the Federation of Nigeria, Honorable Justice Walter Onogen, on this very unique, very epochal appointment of his. I also want to very quickly say that he's coming on board at a time when all eyes are on him. The acting president, Professor Yomi Osinbajo, got it very aptly and right on point when he said confidence in Nigeria's institutions are at a particularly low ebb at this time. And so I think this is a cue for my Lord, the Honorable Justice, as he mounts the saddle substantively, having been confirmed. He had acted up until this confirmation. I think it's about time that the Lord Justice takes the bull by the horn. The judiciary is one of the three arms of government in a democracy. And the judiciary is expected to be the hope of the ordinary person on the street. The judiciary is expected to be a neutral arbiter. And so it is very germane at this time to wish that the Honorable Chief Justice hits the ground now that he is a substantive CJN. Now he hits the ground running. He has ample time on his hands to turn things around, to put in place some of the very laudable strides that the former female Chief Justice of the Federation had set going. Talking about the former Justice Aloma Mukhtar. Yes, I think my Lord Honorable Justice Walter Onogen can continue from where the former CJN Honorable Justice Mukhtar left off and begin to put things right in almost all the spheres of justice administration in our land. I pray he will find the courage to weed out the bad eggs. I pray he will find the courage to put in place expedited judicial processes. And this, I believe, can easily be achieved. All it requires is for the apex to set the tone from the word go. If you now just oppose all of this with the fact that the judiciary, especially at this time, is going through some of its toughest times in the history of our country, quite a number of them are now facing trial for corruption charges. That institution is in the eye of the storm.
Yes, I wanted, Simon, I wanted you to take it from there, as in terms of, we've never had it this bad, or this is unprecedented, as in what happened last year to, in the judiciary, and the CJN has a responsibility as a chairman of the National Judicial Council.
I don't think it's right to say that we've never had it this bad. I mean, nobody trusts the judiciary in this country. I mean, if you talk to ordinary people, they will tell you a couple of things. For instance, they will tell you that all the former governors who went to court, none of them is in jail today. Maybe one of them was sentenced, was he,
5 years,
a few days back. You know, people who were accused of stealing billions, none of them is in jail today. You see rich people who have amassed so much wealth, you know, walking the street and even being, you know, becoming senators. You have, you know, so it's always been bad. Nobody trusts the judiciary. And I think what happened last year is because President Muhammadu Buhari is not a corrupt person. And he's trying to, you know, bring discipline to an institution that died a long time ago. So I think it was a dead institution. I've had cases in court where you get to court. In fact, even today, what happened today, you were having, the Lagos state government was swearing in 3 judges. And cases, the court did not sit. Hundreds of cases abandoned. I had lawyers who called me who said that, listen, we were not given any notice that, you know, the cases will be adjourned. So they need to go there and get, you know, another date. And that date that we get is just for mention. So you have corruption in the judiciary, you have congested court, you have, you know, cases being adjourned indefinitely. You have people who have been in court for years. And someone called me today, another lawyer, that a case that he filed in 2015, in 2017, today they called him that his case is ready for hearing. That's 2 years. The person will have died a long time ago. So, I mean, the trust, the confidence, you know, is not there.
You know, shedding more spotlight into the rot Simon, you know, just talked about now. And then when you look at the number of judges we have to the cases, like, let's say the Supreme Court now, we just have one Supreme Court. Like a state like United States of America, they have their Supreme Courts all over each state with their own Supreme Courts. So, but you discover that from all the 36 states, all the cases you have in the High Courts, in the Court of Appeal, it will now terminate in just one Supreme Court. So land matters, several things that we want to hear might take years before, you know, it's sorted out.
I know that King Sunny Ade's case with his former label owner.
The Premier, Sonny?
Bolane Wabio.
Take your choice.
He's almost 50 years old.
TYC, I think.
50?
He's almost 50 years old. And they are still in court. You know, there are many cases like that, especially land matters. You know, so I don't think that merely tackling corruption is the only problem of the judiciary. The inefficiency in the system has to be addressed. And I think that the system has to be largely automated. Apart from Lagos State, I do not see any state where the judiciary, the operations of the judiciary have been automated. I think it was our present acting president,
yes, Professor
who set that in motion. And you see even the general court area in Lagos is very modern, it's clean. You'll be proud of it if you've attended court sessions in other places. If you've not attended court sessions in other places, you will not appreciate what they have in Lagos. The public address system, you know, the ambience, the courtrooms are generally livable and I can say dignifying. But in some states, you need to see the courtrooms. Even before you get inside the premises of the judiciary, you already have an idea of how the courtrooms will look like, you know. So there are many problems to be solved. And when we talk about corruption in the judiciary, many people think that the corruption is actually limited to the federal high courts. Look at the judges that have been arrested, judges that are often taken before NJC. They are not judges who belong to the lower rungs of the ladder. The corruption that takes place in the lower courts is higher than what happens. The quantum of it, you know, is even incomparable to what happens in the bigger courts. I'm talking about even customary courts. The corruption that takes place there is unbelievable. Sharia courts, all the courts generally, the judiciary from top to bottom. Yes, no. If I give you some of my own experiences about some of those small courts, my experience as a journalist, you'll be shocked. Small courts that should decide even little matters like husband and wife, you know, trying to divorce and all that. You still see corruption taking place. You still see judges taking money. So it's terrible. And some of the experiences or the things that happened last year, which pushed the DSS to take the actions that it took, you ask yourself, why should such things be happening? That a judge will even be involved in 419. That a judge will go and post like the CJN of Nigeria, you know, and then extort money from a litigant. So that should tell you how bad things are. The ONJC led by Onogen has to dispose of cases of corruption brought before it in record time. That is the only way that in its time so many corruption cases can be dispensed with, because most lawyers have even lost faith in the ONJC.
Let's quickly take this break. When we come back, we're still on the judiciary. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. It's Journalist Hangouts, and we are looking at the judiciary. And, gentlemen, we want to look at, Ojide spoke about this protracted time.
Yes.
Now, that's why we commended the economic and financial crimes and the courts that actually, you know, convicted him, because the former governor of Adamawa State, that was like record-breaking for our own timing, because we said the class of 2007 and everything, they're still in governors, they're still in courts. So we didn't know what happened, what they did right or what they didn't do, or maybe the man did not play ball, or he wanted that case to go on, that it will be vindicated at the end of the day, and he got a shocker out of his life because it wasn't actually theft that was convicted of. But what we are saying now, what we are looking at now, how to restore confidence. You know, if the executive is not upright, if the legislature is not even too upright, but you can say if we have a very sound judiciary, you can see in the US, in the United States, during election, I think during 4 years ago, Obama, Obama, who contested against Obama, they had a problem in Florida. They had to recount.
Okay, that was Bush.
That was George Bush.
Yeah.
George Bush versus Al Gore. And within that time frame, the Supreme Court adjudicated on it, and a pronouncement was made. Let's say Jack Robinson. And even this immigration thing, the Supreme Court immediately present
Trump
only took that decision. It went to the Supreme Court, and Supreme. Yes, so how can we have?
Yes, we will. I just hope that because I'm a strong, staunch believer in equity. Now, my Lord, the Chief Justice of Federation, is also a living witness to what played out before he's eventually his appointment is substantively approved. I think it's a litmus for him to look at the myriad, really and truly, a number of issues the time of cases being determined, the quality of judges determining all these cases, the attitude of the lawyers. Now, all of this, you must have to now sit down and very seriously address in such a manner that we can begin to see expedited matters. The Adamawa case that has just been, determined should act like some kind of stimulus for the CJN, and because in all of this, quite a lot will lie on his shoulders. It is what the messages he projects that followership in the judiciary will key into. And once when the followership sees that the apex is not going to tolerate or compromise, I'm sure they too will sit up, buckle up, and then we can begin to really and truly. Because we must not lose sight of the fact that the judiciary remains the last hope. Even the other two arms of government will eventually, if things were done properly,
run to the judiciary.
Yes, they will eventually seek succor from the judiciary. And once the judiciary is on its toes, doing what it should do, and it enjoys the acceptance, the approval of the people, I'm sure the other two arms will fall in line and begin also to take cue from that. Because you understand that whichever way things go, everybody eventually ends up in court. And so, I think of these three musketeers, talking about the judiciary, talking about the executive, talking about the legislature. I think the judiciary has a more onerous role in the society, in the balancing of issues.
All right, Simon, looking at, in terms of welfare and remuneration, now the judge, Justice Ademola, in the course of his trial, I got wind of it that, okay, his salary, the salary for a federal high court judge, 530,000, and traveling allowance and $10,000. I can't recall.
And people who stole billion come before him.
That is where I'm going to. In terms of remuneration, those that they've got into that, don't you think they should, if our legislatures, if our lawmakers
are earning so much,
they are earning this much, and how many, what's the numerical strength of all the judges we have in Nigeria? Don't you think if they are well motivated, we might be playing down on bribing them, giving a judge 500,000 naira for his daughter's wedding?
Or book launch.
Yes,
book launch.
For a book launch.
I want to say something first on corruption and in the judiciary. I mean, I want to say that it's really a shame. These are the people who are almost next to God. They decide, they have the power to sentence people to death. They have the power to send you to jail for 20 years. They can terminate your life. They can ruin your life. The judges, and so those people should be above board. They can give excuses, our salaries are not much. There are people who are earning 18,000 naira in this country and who are still honest. They understand.
It's difficult to be honest in that system, in that kind of system.
Yes, it's tough.
With 18,000 naira and
he has to explain how he spends it.
Yes, no, I understand. It's tough.
How he managed to
I'm telling you,
get by.
Yes.
So it's
it's
must
tough.
be
Yes, it's tough. I understand that if you are not well remunerated, it's the same problem that journalists are having. I mean, you have people who steal billion, and a journalist who is not paid for,
or a media house that has not paid salary for 10 months, 15 months,
and then so they are asking.
They are owing them.
They are asking these
not
people
to take bribe.
Not to take
bribe. And you have judges who are earning, like, as you said, I don't know their salary. They are earning maybe 500, 200, or 300,000 naira. And they have people who stole billion, who are able to influence them, to compromise them. But I'm still saying that, as he said, the judiciary remained, along with journalism, the last hope for the common man. And I'm saying that these are people who should be above board. They should not be corrupt because they have so much power. They can decide, they can ruin your life, they can make you, they can sack a president.
Yes, pronto.
And when you go to jail, only the president or a governor, and that's after many years, can maybe commit your sentence, maybe to your death sentence, to maybe, change it. So, and most time you still have, even when you appeal, you still have to go to court. So I believe that their salary, yes, they should earn more money. Yes, they should, I mean, because of the nature of the job that they do, they should be well remunerated.
Well catered to.
But that cannot be used as an excuse, because I'm sure that there are still other judges who earn the same salaries and who don't receive 500,000 naira for give or 2 billion, who don't have millions of dollars in their account.
Jide, do you want to flow with with Simon? Because Simon is saying it's not a justification, and I'm saying that, look, if these people are well paid and everything, we expect them a certain level of contentment and everything.
I think I remember an American public officer who came to Nigeria a few years back, and he told us that if we really want to address corruption in the country, because corruption in the Nigerian civil service is terrible. The acting president was talking about it last week, and he said if you want to address it, then you must look at what is paid to workers, the civil servants. In a situation where a civil servant earns 18,000, if people suggest to him that, look, let us do this, let's keep this money in your account and we will give you 10%, he's going to jump at that opportunity, because it happened when they were investigating the pension thieves. You will find that they were moving these stolen monies around, and there were some very junior people in the civil service, people like who are on level 4. You know, these are the vulnerable people. They know they are very poor. So these are the people that they often walk up to and say, see, let's use your account to keep this money. Because nobody, even the EFCC guys, will not have their eyes on the accounts of such people, because these ones, what do they have? You know, and with that, they were able to hide stolen money. So you must pay people living wages. That is the way the UN defines minimum. What should be minimum wage? You must pay people living wages. You must look at the standard of living, the cost of living in an area.
Take home should be able to take them home
and determine what people should get. We were talking about America the other day, that even in the US, Washington and Massachusetts, their minimum wage is higher than the federal average. Federal, what the minimum wage at the federal level, their own minimum wage is higher, because they know that it is the right thing to do. So we must pay civil servants what will ensure that they can at least resist corruption. It will not I mean, those who are greedy, if you pay them all the money in the world, they will still steal. But a lot of people will not face that temptation, because what are people even looking for money for? To pay children's school fees, to pay for accommodation.
Basic comfort.
Yes. So if you provide those basic things for people, a lot of them will not feel the need to steal. It's a fact.
All right. Still ahead on Journalist Hangout, Senate direct customs to halt planned calm down on vehicle duty. Please stay with us. We'll be right back. Welcome back. The federal government recently raised the duties on luxury goods such as yachts and sport utility vehicles. SUVs imported into the country. Now, thus, all the owners of vehicles with unpaid import duties were given an ultimatum to do so. Just yesterday, the Senate directed the Nigerian Customs Service to stop all actions on the recent directive to all vehicle owners whose custom duty had not been paid. The Senate Majority Leader, Ibn Naala, said it is ridiculous that Customs Service is asking owners of all vehicles for the duty payment of vehicles they did not import. Gentlemen, Jide.
They should, and I'm like, do these people really know what they are doing? You are saying that within a space of 1 month,
less than,
all Nigerians who have cars should go to 4 points, 4 locations.
4 locations?
Yes.
Because they don't have offices across this country.
Just 4 locations.
To
go and verify whether they actually paid the correct duty. Because what it means is, if you bought a car 8 years ago, you paid for the car. When you pay for a car,
Yeah.
Of course, it includes, the payment includes duty.
Duty, importation,
On the car.
everything, yeah.
Now, what the ridiculous people at the customs are telling us is that if the person who sold the car to you and some customs officers should change the government in the process,
which is a stock in trade,
which is a possibility.
You have to pay.
If they should change the government in the process, you will now have to bear the brunt. You will now have to pay duty. And the question to ask is, okay, how will the duty be calculated? The duty of 10 years ago or 8 years ago, is it the same thing? Should it be the same thing as today?
yeah.
So, and people
Inflation
will
rates,
ask,
devaluation rates,
yeah,
everything.
we know, yes, that look, so much smuggling happens through the land borders. In fact, the countries around us, more than 90% of imports to their ports are actually on transit. They are headed for Nigeria.
Yes.
You know?
Republic of Benin.
We know that as a fact. Despite the fact that we have good port facilities and all that, many people prefer to use the land borders to smuggle. And Ali knows that that is possible because there are so many customs guys who are corrupt, who are terribly compromised. So the question is, where were they when these cars were being rolled into Nigeria? That's one. Then if you are saying people should go to just 4 points, all of us that were driving cars around, just 4 points, and you are saying under 1 month, I don't think that Amir Ali, yes, he's a soldier, but there is a limit to swashbuckling, because what he's doing amounts to swashbuckling. There is a limit to it. You are dealing with a whole country now. You are not dealing with Kaduna, where he was harassing my friend Henry Ogbolu and the rest of them
At that time.
We are dealing with a whole country. You cannot subject everybody. The chaos that will happen at those 4 points where they said all of us should go. You now, without your fancy car, you will have to go there. Because you see, it doesn't mean...
Put Ayo in the spot.
Yes, so that people will know that he has money. You know? It doesn't mean, even if you paid, you heard what I said earlier. You must verify whether they actually should change the government in paying your duty or not. So, even you think that, okay, you paid duty, but they are saying no, that we must verify whether it was the correct duty that was paid or somebody should change. So if that person should change, you are now asked to come and bear the brunt. For a car that you bought maybe 8 years ago, it's only in our country that ridiculous people come up with ideas like this. And I need to commend the Senate. When the Senate reasons like this, I will not come to a place like this and criticize them.
Rising up to the occasion.
Do the right thing, and you must stand firm. You must stand firm as a Senate. If you say, okay, this is wrong, we have seen that you're on the side of our people. Don't buckle at the end of the day. Stand firm that this is wrong. You must stand firm. That's the right thing to do.
Still don't know, maybe the custom will listen to them now. Not to implement that, because
they can stop the implementation.
It's not going to work.
Are you saying that Ahmed Ali is bigger than the Nigerian Senate?
Ayo, you see?
The way he has been carrying himself. He
No. They summoned him to the Senate.
Reports to Mr. President.
No, you can say that again. He reports. He told the president that he would like to report directly to him, but the customs man, by our laws, is under the
Minister
woman who speaks like a white woman.
Who speaks Cockney?
Now,
who speaks Cockney?
That's statutory. You know, and it is Kemi Adeosun that should actually set targets for the customs. I know that they are under pressure. They want to make more money for the 3 tiers of government to share, but this is the wrong way to go about it.
That's very weird.
Ayo, you see, my take. Customs. Let me start by saying that in customs today, we have a square peg in a round hole. When Ali came with the mantra of anti-corruption, he's going to jail people, he's going to sack people, he's going to do this, he's going to do that, he's going to do that. He was busy saying all of that without saying how he intends to perform the statutory function of customs, which is revenue revenue collection. Now, saying that, as it were, I will leave that. I think this Senate has done, for quite a long time in my reckoning, one of the smartest, one of the best things they ought to be doing some more frequently. The policy of customs, as was announced by the acting chief spokesman, Atta, for me is not only an ill thought out policy, it's marks of absolute pedestrianism. How do you expect that the hundreds of thousands of vehicles on Nigerian roads will be verified? Now, what happens to people who have multiple of cars?
Yes.
And who do not have drivers? I have friends who have maybe 2 or 3 cars in their house, in their homestead, but do not have drivers. How many times will this shuttle? So that policy, that announcement was not only ill-conceived, it was also absolutely ill-timed and could not have worked.
And ridiculous.
Very ridiculous.
We're still
not have
running,
worked.
Simon, we're running a manual system here because this thing could actually, it's not rocket science. If a software is created and a portal is opened and you are meant to log in maybe your plate number, and there's a wide area network, everybody, you can see it in Abuja, you can see it anywhere, and okay, get a scratch card or go on internet or your phone, do us this favor, just put your plate number and you'll be able to do some verification and you can verify if this thing is with you. They want to do it manually in 2017.
No, I want to say, when I also read it, it was, as Mr. Titoju said, it was ridiculous, it was nonsensical. It's like, we understand that they are trying to raise money. The country is in crisis and people have target, the custom has target, all government agencies, they're giving them target. So they are trying to raise money to share. But this is a policy that cannot work. I think they failed in their duty when those cars were coming in. They failed, and they can't blame the Nigerian people for failing them. Can we use data? Can we use the plate number? Can we have an automated system? We need to have a proper database for everybody.
Customs that they do not even have scanners.
Yes, I remember.
They don't have scanners. Yeah.
They are now saying that they are doing 100%
inspection.
Yes, I remember.
You a whole container, you now get about 7 people, they will now manually
that is the software for corruption.
Yes,
whether the scanner will look at everything under 2 minutes.
It is the recipe for corruption.
I know one day.
Is it that we can't afford that? Or what's happening?
I think they showed us one scanner. I remember I attended one event. I don't know if it's working, but
they came out when these firearms were illegally brought into the country.
Yes.
They said it's because their scanners were bad, and they now said, okay, the solution is we do 100% manual checks. People fail to use our ports because they are unduly delayed at the ports before they are
multiple
cleared.
Corrupt levies at the ports.
All kinds of security agencies are
honestly
people have no business lined up.
People are able to smuggle guns and other things into the country.
Layers of security.
Politicians are able to smuggle military uniforms and weapons into our country. And the customs can't do anything about it.
They are trying to
people bring in cars through the land borders. Customs men are compromised. Then you now start raiding people's shops. Innocent people selling rice. You'll be locking up. Taking their rice away.
Go to Songota. We'll go to shops.
For me, I think
break into the shop in the middle of the night.
Time has come for the government to take a very serious look at the operations of customs, with a view to putting the right set of people. There are some of them there who have been extremely well trained in almost all of these facets of their operation, scanning, enforcement, and whatever. They are lying fallow. And yet somebody is there who claims that because he was a colonel, the rank of colonel is superior to, I don't know what I didn't really listen to that. I didn't really listen to that.
You know why I wouldn't blame Ali?
It's not certain.
Ali came in and increased the capacity of customs to generate significantly.
Yes.
It can
They've
stand
been
on
billing
that
out.
pedestal.
They've been billing us out in the last
Yes.
2
Customs
quarters now.
always had the capacity to generate.
So
maybe
why
times
didn't
10.
the people
No,
who are
what
there
did
doing
they-
it?
every
Fraud. They
time,
were stealing
all
the
the
money.
time.
They were stealing the money.
He
They were stealing the money.
closed, because I have friends in the
Yes.
customs, and they've testified that he blocked areas of leakage.
Are you aware that the
You
former
know? He blocked everywhere.
the former Controller General of Customs brought in 1 billion naira first
Yes,
installment?
he gave it back to EFCC.
That's a fraction.
One
So
of
the thing is,
that's a
when
fraction
you
of
are
what
not
that
cash,
guy has.
when you are not,
They are
you
not
as the
looking at it
customs,
closely enough.
yes, you are the customs boss.
look more closely
Instead of committing yourself to working hard, blocking corruption and ensuring that you generate so much for us, you are at the vanguard of corrupt acts. So how can you do the job?
All right, we'll go on this break. When we come back, we'll discuss more. It's still journalist Hangout. Stay with us. We'll be right back. We just have to have our last word on this custom. Jide?
I think that the decision of the Senate is a good one, and I expect that the customs CG, Colonel Ahmed Ali, will abide by this. He is not higher than the Nigerian Senate at all. At least they summoned him recently. One of the committees summoned him, so he must bring himself under constituted authority. We are saying that this will inflict serious pain on the Nigerian people because it's a thoughtless policy. Because of that, what we are saying is that the customs should do the right thing and forget about this idea. For now, it cannot work.
Yes, for me, I have given kudos to the Senate this one time. Customs should just get their acts together. They should block entry points, the seaports, the airport, the land borders. They should concentrate on all the avenues where people tend to smuggle. And when things have arrived the country, I think they must begin to improvise ways to shunt responsibilities of collecting accruables on those things onto other areas.
Simon?
Yes, I think that the customs should not inflict more pain on people who are already suffering. I think they should focus on major things, trying to prevent smuggling, trying to do the right thing instead of, trying to punish people who are already suffering. And if they fail in their duty, as they fail in this particular case, they should go back to the drawing board and try to do, try to prevent it in the future.
So, and just like an addendum, it doesn't in any way rub off the good work of Colonel Ahmed Ali.
Yeah,
in the last,
it's done well. It's done well, but
in any way,
on this one, no.
But
he has not done well.
Kudos to Colonel Ahmed Ali. Moving on now. A month ago, a huge sum of money was recovered from the residence of the former GMD of Nigerian National Petroleum Corporation, NNPC. Sequel to this recovery, Yakubu got detained in the EFCC cell for questioning where he admitted ownership of the cash. Now, Yakubu has filed a suit against the federal government over his continued detention. He is demanding a sum of 1 billion naira as damages and compensation over the alleged violation of his rights. He also wants a public apology in 2 national dailies. So Yakubu is actually demanding 1 billion naira extra to the cash that he has kept in the till. Is this a joke, gentlemen?
He should actually be asking for apology in all the newspapers in Nigeria, since he's so confident that they will apologize to him. So he should ask for apology in all the national newspapers, and then also demand for apology online. So people like Simon at Eva.com, they should apologize on their forum, because he sees himself as the best thing since sliced bread.
It's such a wicked country.
That we now have to apologize to him. He continues to say that those monies were given to him as gifts. And I've said on this program, tell us the people who gave you this money. We need to even investigate the people. I'm not doubting that that money
were not gifts.
Were not gifts. That the monies were not gifts. But he should tell us who gave you this money, so that we can also investigate such people.
What have you done?
Where did you find the money that you gave this fellow? Because look, at the end of the day, EFCC, if they do their job well, they will be able to establish that indeed these monies were proceeds of corruption. Because it may be difficult for them at this time to actually,
yes,
you know,
they want to use technicality and
you may not unless they are able to find that indeed that so time when he was the GMD,
certain amounts
of money got missing,
directly traced.
They may not be able to find that. They may not be able to find that.
Yes.
No, you see, the thing is, corruption in Nigeria, when you carry people along, as my friend Stanley Okonye says, when you carry people along, chances are that everybody will keep quiet. So they may not be able to find. How does the EFCC do its work? They rely largely on petitions.
Yes.
Information.
And sometimes, when those petitioners don't show up, cases die.
Yes.
You know. So the truth is, let him come up with the people who gave him. They are detaining him, so he's saying that his rights have been infringed. But if you've stolen what belongs to Nigerians, you've also infringed on the rights of some people.
Honestly.
To quality health care.
Honestly.
To good roads.
To
good roads. To education.
Life.
So don't come and tell us that, oh, they've infringed on your rights. When you steal, you've infringed on other people's rights.
Honestly.
Yes, Ayo, I agree with Jide, but I want to say that Andrew Yakubu is coming across to me as a person who is feeble. If $9.8 million were found in your premises and 74,000 pounds sterling were also found in your premises, and all you can say at this time is that they are gifts, I think it beggars the question. He should have come forth to tell us who gave these gifts in consideration for what service.
Oh. So he may have inflated some contract somewhere, you know, and they gave him kickback.
Because, you know, $9 million isn't peanuts for crying in any economy.
At all.
$9 million is a lot. You see, it's only in Nigeria here that I see that we have no regard for anything. For our laws, for our economy,
we
for
must
ourselves,
investigate the
for
contract
human
that
life.
they awarded.
So what I think must be done here is that EFCC should hasten the processes. No. I do not want to totally, absolutely agree that EFCC must continue to detain him until they get evidences with which to proceed. I think there should have been a process where those funds.
2 cases now.
I think this is the second
I think there
case.
should have been a process where those funds should have been, you know, cordoned, and his movement also restricted. Maybe when evidences. Because you see, they can't continue to hold.
That's why he went to court.
Yes, they cannot. You know,
they've held him for more than 26
Don't be
days.
surprised that. Don't be surprised that if you get a smart lawyer, that charge may stick. Because whatever EFCC needs to do, they don't need eternity to do it.
To keep him in detention.
It's quite difficult.
I don't think it's right also in that way.
Yes, I think that we are very wicked people. That money is almost 5 billion naira. I mean, if someone gives you money, if you receive gift,
push that into healthcare
and you are
and
you are confident that this money was given to me, you will go to the bank and keep it.
And you declare it.
You will declare it. You know, but when you receive gift and you hide it in an impoverished area, was it not in Kaduna? In Kaduna. And then in a place where they say
it's not tight.
You know, the place is not tight.
No, you saw the place.
There's, you know, absolute squalor in that place.
You see, it's money, Simon. Look at. You see, that place is possible that it is only that building that has air conditioning system in the whole of that area.
You see,
and the air condition was meant for the cash, so that it will remain fresh.
Look at the air condition system.
Yes, that's it. So I think that we are very wicked people, and I believe there is even an insult for him to come out
and be asking for apology,
to be asking for apology, and to even be asking for another billion.
1 billion.
Do you understand? It's like
1 billion to this.
Just to be asking for another billion. So I think that we should be serious. If he's not been found guilty, as far as you know the judicial process is concerned, but in the eyes of many Nigerians, people believe that
They believe he's already guilty.
He's already guilty. And
Honestly, because of
and his sheer wickedness for someone to
Why
collect
didn't
so
he
much
even,
money.
Is it
and
such
keep
a
it
bad
and
thing?
bury that money? at
Is it
home?
such a bad thing to reject such gifts as unsolicited gifts?
and what's maybe the NNPC Act or what is
If
the
you
law,
know that
what's the
this kind
position
of gift
law
can
for this
put you
kind
in
of
trouble,
gifts?
you are not supposed to receive it.
see,
It's
because
there in our laws.
Because the NNPC is the cesspit of corruption and godlessness. This kind of thing is playing out, before our very eyes.
Don't forget
How can
that
the person say that
there's
$9 million was gifted him for doing what? For being what?
You must have awarded contracts that were inflated, and they gave him his cut. He should tell us the truth.
This is the
Because this
same-
is how it happens.
Yes, Jide, this is the same
People can't
system.
just come and give you gifts like
Or
that.
he should be
now.
quick to tell us who gave the gifts. Who
Yeah,
gifted
that's what
him
we've
this
been
money.
telling him.
Let
Tell
him
us,
come out and tell us.
and
who
let those
gifted
people come
him
and
this
even
money.
defend what they do for a living.
So
that, we
we're
all
not
know.
claiming for fundamental human rights.
Yes,
As his fundamental human right be violated,
When
No,
actually
in the
millions-
detention. That's
yes,
the thing.
it's continued detention. 26 days. Gentlemen,
Yes,
think-
I don't agree that they should keep people indefinitely.
Okay.
I think that EFCC and this apply to everybody, that they should you can't just detain people indefinitely because you are prosecuting
but
them.
when you want to use sentiment to look at it, you
No,
it
Ayo.
should just be there
Ayo,
forever.
truth be said, EFCC has no business holding him for upwards of 1 month. You see that they tarry until they have enough evidence. And then from the point where they grab him, take him to court, and the matter is then fast-tracked.
Or there's even a way that
Or release him on
EFCC
bail.
will go, EFCC
Since
will
his
go to a
passport,
court,
put people on his
extend
bail to
his
ensure that he does not abscond.
detention order.
Can we, if I have the opportunity to amend the Nigerian Constitution, and that opportunity is given solely to me.
That's a tall.
Solely
That's why an
to me.
individual
To
will
say
not
Jide,
That's
have
the
that
thought.
to say
privilege.
Jide, no, Jide, we want you to look at this constitution and rejig it. I will go straight to the area that talks about corruption, and I will prescribe death for corruption. I will not just prescribe death for corruption. I will prescribe indefinite detention for corruption. I've asked you to
That is
tell
not
him,
bailable. It should not be bailable.
this kind of money that can change lives, that
$9 million.
can change our people. You cannot keep it to yourself alone. You can't. Look at the road that leads to the airport here. It's a shame to Nigeria that your gateway, the road that leads to your gateway, is so terrible. You see people, you see the tankers here and there on both sides of the road. When we should actually have a 10-lane road,
Honestly.
Leading
walled
to the airport.
on
To the
both
airport,
sides,
yes,
that
yes.
people will be proud of. Is that how it is in other places?
I
That
think-
kind of money that Yakubu locked up and was putting on AC for it. That kind of money, if they take it to that road and they say, "Ambody, do this road for us," people will be shocked at
What
the job that
somebody
they've
will
done.
achieve with
Yes,
that
now.
$5 billion.
And when you bury money at home, it's like that money is not generating
not
anything.
working.
Yeah,
It's
it's
not
not
working.
working.
It's not in the
Yeah.
system.
very
It's
good-
not in the
It's a
system.
wicked-
You're
it's
not
even
employing. You're not
crude and
employing.
godless.
No,
You're not employing anybody.
it looks like an antediluvian corrupt man, because it's only an antediluvian corrupt man that will go and hide money. It's the way our forefathers used to keep money.
Stash money.
So the money will not generate anything.
I'm sure.
It will just be there.
I'm
Ayo,
sure
I think
hundreds
EFCC
of millions of dollars is still buried.
Somewhere.
in
There are so
somewhere
many of them who
somewhere.
have also
EFCC
buried.
should hasten the
But
processes
God will catch them.
and jail Yakubu
Yes.
if they have a case on him. If not, I think they should just confiscate the funds.
They
and-
should not
potentially
work
have
a free
case.
man.
They potentially
Saying that money,
you are saying they
discovering
should
that
just
money.
you forgotten that he has sued
We have to
them
go
for
on.
keeping his money. He said, "It's my money. Return my money."
Thank you, Simon Ateba, the publisher of Simon Ateba
Money that was given you.
News. Thank you. Yeah. Otumba Olomofe, thank you. And Jide, thank you as usual. And that's it on Journalist Hangout. Join us tomorrow for another interesting episode of the program. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Uzuba. Bye for now. God bless Nigeria.